Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're diving into a story that many fans don't know about. A story that begins long before the fame, the platinum albums, and the global recognition. Before the world knew the laid-back voice and unmistakable flow of Snoop Dogg, there was a young kid with a dream, a microphone, and a stage that was much smaller than the arenas he would later dominate. And believe it or not, part of that early journey involved singing competitions, church performances, and small talent shows that helped shape the artist we know today. So let me ask you something right away. Have you ever wondered where great performers really start? Is it in big studios, surrounded by producers and expensive equipment? Or is it somewhere much simpler, like a school stage, a neighborhood event, or even a church choir? For Snoop Dogg, whose real name is Calvin Cordozar Broadus Jr, the answer lies in those humble beginnings growing up in Long Beach. Picture a young boy growing up in the 1970s and early 1980s in Long Beach. Life wasn't always easy in the neighborhood where he lived. Like many kids in the area, he was surrounded by challenges, influences, and choices that could easily lead someone down the wrong path. But there was one place that gave him a sense of structure and belonging. Church. Yes, church. Many people are surprised when they hear this, but before the smooth rap flow and the iconic hip-hop persona, Snoop Dogg was actually deeply involved in church activities. His mother made sure he attended regularly, and that environment introduced him to something powerful: music performed live in front of people. Imagine the young Calvin standing with other kids in a church choir, learning how to control his voice, how to project emotion, and how to connect with an audience. Gospel music filled the room, and every performance was about expression, rhythm, and feeling. Even though it wasn't hip-hop yet, those moments were quietly building the foundation for the performer he would eventually become. Now think about this for a second. When a child sings in front of a congregation, they're doing more than just following notes. They're learning stage presence, they're learning confidence, they're learning how to stand in front of people and hold their attention. That's something every artist needs. And Snoop was discovering it early. As he got older, those church performances slowly expanded into something bigger. School talent shows, local events, and neighborhood competitions began to appear in his life. These weren't huge televised contests or glamorous music industry auditions. They were small, community-driven stages where young performers tested themselves. Have you ever performed in a school talent show? If you have, then you know how intense it can feel. The crowd might be classmates and teachers instead of thousands of fans, but the pressure still feels enormous. For young Calvin Broadus, those moments mattered. He loved music, but he also loved performing. And performing meant competing. At some of these early events, kids would sing, dance, or rap while friends and neighbors watched from folding chairs. Sometimes the crowd cheered loudly. Sometimes the judges were strict. But each performance gave Snoop something valuable: experience. He learned what made people react. He learned how rhythm could grab attention. And most importantly, he learned that his voice had something special about it. Even before he became known for rap, people noticed the smoothness of his delivery. His voice had a calm, laid-back tone that sounded different from others. That uniqueness became his signature later in hip-hop, but its roots go back to those early performances. Now imagine being a teenager in Long Beach, stepping onto a small stage during a local singing or talent competition. The crowd is loud, the lights are bright, and everyone is waiting to see what you can do. Some performers freeze, some performers panic, but others rise to the moment. Snoop was one of those performers. He enjoyed the spotlight, and that confidence helped him stand out. Over time, he and his friends began experimenting with rap and rhythm in addition to singing. They recorded homemade tapes and shared them around the neighborhood. Those tapes started gaining attention, and people began noticing the young rapper with the smooth voice. This is where the story begins to shift, because those early competitions and performances were slowly preparing him for something much bigger. Eventually, those recordings found their way to one of the most influential figures in hip-hop history, Dr. Dre. When Dr. Dre first heard Snoop's voice, it stood out immediately. It wasn't aggressive or harsh like many other rappers at the time. It was relaxed, confident, and almost melodic. That style became a perfect match for the West Coast sound Dre was developing. Before long, Snoop Dogg was collaborating with Dr. Dre on groundbreaking music projects. Their work helped shape the sound of West Coast hip-hop and introduced Snoop to the world on a massive scale. But here's the interesting thing. Even as Snoop's fame exploded, the core elements of his performance style, the confidence, the rhythm, the stage presence, could still be traced back to those early experiences. Church choirs, School talent shows, local competitions, small stages where a young performer learned how to connect with people. Think about that for a moment. Some of the biggest stars in the world didn't begin with million-dollar studios or global audiences. They began with small opportunities and simple performances that slowly built their skills and confidence. And Snoop Dogg is a perfect example of that journey. From the streets of Long Beach to global superstardom, his path shows how early passion and determination can turn into something extraordinary. Those singing competitions and talent shows might seem small compared to his later achievements, but they were stepping stones that helped shape his identity as an entertainer. Today, Snoop Dogg is recognized worldwide not only as a rapper, but also as an actor, entrepreneur, and cultural icon. His voice is instantly recognizable, and his personality has made him one of the most beloved figures in entertainment. But behind that success is a story that started with something very simple: a kid who loved performing. And that's what makes stories like this so inspiring, because somewhere out there right now, another young performer might be standing on a small stage in a school auditorium or community event, singing or rapping in front of a few dozen people. They might feel nervous. They might wonder if anyone will remember their performance. They might even doubt whether their dream will ever become reality. But history shows us something important. Every legend starts somewhere, and sometimes that somewhere looks a lot like a small singing competition or a neighborhood talent show. So now I want to hear from you. If you could go back in time and watch one of those early performances by a young Snoop Dogg before the fame and the success, do you think you would have recognized his star potential right away? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoy stories about the early lives of music legends, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share your thoughts, because your comment might inspire the next story we explore together. But the story of the young Snoop Dogg doesn't stop with those early performances. As Calvin Broadus grew older in Long Beach, music became more than just something he did for fun. It became a way to express everything happening around him. The neighborhood life, the struggles, the friendships, and the dreams of something bigger all started finding their way into his lyrics. He and his friends would gather to freestyle, challenge each other, and record homemade tapes. Those moments felt a lot like friendly competitions, each person trying to deliver the smoothest line, the best rhythm, or the most memorable verse. And every time Snoop grabbed the microphone, his calm voice and effortless flow made people stop and listen. Word about his talent slowly began spreading. Friends shared his recordings, and his reputation in the local music scene started growing. What began as small talent shows and community performances was turning into something much bigger. Before long, those early efforts would open the door to life-changing opportunities, connections that would eventually lead him to collaborate with legends like Dr. Dre, setting the stage for one of the most iconic careers in hip-hop history.